because it's Robin Williams, right? That's like what he does. Mm-hmm. But it is weird seeing him be out crazied by Nathan Lane. like that energy is just.
Who steals this whole movie? I mean, he steals this whole movie.
And they have great chemistry together.
You actually believe they're a couple.
Yeah,
it's really bizarre.
Welcome to Idiot Plot, a comedic podcast critiquing, discussing, and analyzing the media industry through reviews, debates, and historical deep dives.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Idiot Plot. On today's show, we're talking about another one of our movie pick series. Justin picked a film. We'll get to that in a second. But like as always, I'm David Giannis. Joining me are my co-hosts, Alex Overdahl,
Gene Hackman in the role of a lifetime,
and Justin Neitzel.
How about them Dolphins? Which you can actually say nowadays.
Now, people couldn't get it from those quotes, Justin. Why don't you go ahead and tell everyone what you had us watch this week?
I had us watch the 1996 Robin Williams, Nathan Lane, Gene Hackman starring The Birdcage.
Yep, that's right. The Birdcage, the American remake of the French film La Cage aux Folles. We'll get right into that in a little bit, but first we're going to open with what we watched this past week or month or basically whenever. This isn't really what we watched this week anymore. It's more just stuff we haven't talked about yet at this point.
Basically.
So with that, Justin, why don't you kick us off?
Well, this one is not a good movie, but it was a fun, stupid movie, and it just happened to be on, and that's the 2008 Jason Statham Death Race.
Oh, I know this movie. I haven't seen it. I know what you're talking about. I've seen that poster.
Yeah. It's actually got a really big kind of cast. I mean, it's got Jason Statham, Joan Allen, Tyrese Gibson, E. McShay, Jason Clarke's in it. It's just like, going back, I was like, wow, there's a lot of big names in this. But it's...
I know I've seen this DVD cover at a grocery store somewhere.
It's basically just Jason Statham gets accused of murdering his wife and gets sent to this prison where Joan Rivers.
Please let it be Joan Rivers.
I wish.
Joan Allen runs the prison, and basically she's created this death race where people, if they win 5 races, they get their freedom. And their one guy who wears a mask called Frankenstein gets killed in the last race, so he's their new driver. It's not very good. I will say that outright. It's just stupid fun. Gatling guns mounted to cars in a race, and you're shooting people. It's basically the high octane fun, just stupid driving, killing. Basically it.
This sounds like The Running Man, but with cars.
Kind of is. Now you mentioned that, it pretty much is.
I mean, all I seen was the director was Paul W.S. Anderson, and I know this movie shit.
Yeah, like he's directing.
Boy, I always get mixed up with Paul Thomas Anderson, who are very different. Very different.
Yeah. So I just was flipping through channels, came across it. I'm like, I've seen this once. I'm gonna check it out again. It's like I said, it's just a fun racing movie with killing and guns.
I mean, that could be fun if it's on TV, like FX at like 10 in the morning.
As the movies.
Or midnight. But yeah, if you're looking for something stupid to watch and love racing and shooting, this is it.
Or watch any movie by Paul W.S. Anderson, for that matter.
Very true, too.
Looking at his filmography, wow, this guy makes a lot. I mean, he wasn't like Event Horizon, but God, those Resident Evil movies.
And the Mortal Kombat in 1995.
That movie is
a cinematic masterpiece.
That movie is so bad it's good.
And then the awful Alien vs. Predator.
God, who keeps giving this dude money?
What does he know?
Or what does he know?
I guess they make money because I know that some of his have been really successful.
And he also directed that shitty Three Musketeers in Pompeii.
But this movie cost like $50 million, this Death Race one, and it made like 75. So probably still lost money, even though that's way more than I thought this would.
Definitely more than I thought it would make. See,
this was back when Jason Statham was like associated exclusively with garbage.
That's changed?
I was going to say that's got to...
Because he joined Fast and the Furious and started doing other stuff. Like, it got coveted, but Wrath of Man is supposed to be really good.
He was also in The Meg.
Which is supposed to be not bad. The Expendables movies are good, minus the third one.
Yeah, second one is the best. Mr. Christmas.
So it's not like he's complete shit now. And people like him for some reason. Maybe because he has charisma and the weird dude sense. of being charismatic by not having any charisma at all.
Yeah, he's charismatic while not giving a shit.
I do like Tyrese Gibson. Ian McShane's also pretty much in garbage now too.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But he's always great.
Whatever pays him.
You give him a paycheck, he's like, I'll do it.
Also, fuck this movie, but I got paid.
Why is Ian McShane's best movie in like last 10 years Kung Fu Panda?
John Wick.
Oh, that's true. John Wick.
The only good things he's in. I mean, he's pretty shitty in the third one with that end plot twist.
Yeah.
Which seemed like a blown take, but whatever.
Oh, I'm gonna shoot you now.
I didn't get paid for more takes.
Alex, what's your pick for this week?
My pick, Donda. No, just kidding. I'm only half kidding.
You could do Donda if you wanted to, but then we're gonna get Kanye jokes, and that could go directions we don't want to go down.
Well, in keeping with patterns, I of course watched a sad movie because I watched Hotel Rwanda.
Oh my God! Why?
Why? You know, I asked myself that about halfway through. But it's really an excellent movie. I mean, it's about the Rwanda genocide, and it's a very sad film, but it's very good. It's also very refreshing to see Don Cheadle do a movie that's not like a big budget movie for a giant paycheck, because it's weird seeing him in Space Jam 2 now. Like, oh yeah, this guy could act. Once long ago, where he's LG Rhythm.
Hey, he's the voice of Donald Duck now. He's Donald Duck's real voice.
What?
Yeah,
The
DuckTales.
DuckTales reboot.
When Donald Duck gets his throat thing cured, and his real voice is Don Cheadle.
Okay, that kind of freaks me out. Like, you can't get his voice. But what?
But anyway, I saw Hotel Rwanda in, I think, high school.
That'd be a weird movie to watch in class when everybody's just crying.
Yeah, well, it was like, actually, I remember no one gave a shit. Remember that specifically? It's like no one cared.
Well, I was gonna say maybe it's good because then you look around the class and who's not crying, and they're like, that's a psychopath. Don't screw it with him.
Well, I think it's more people were like sleeping because it was high school. Lights go down, there goes up,
That's
nap
true.
time. Even though it's a really good movie.
Yeah, it was excellent. I mean, like, it's another one that
I'm not quite sure how you expect this conversation to continue.
I don't know. Listen, I did think about doing Donda, which you should also listen to, but I had to find something, and I had to stay in pattern. It's got to be a sad movie.
Listen, I'd rather make Kanye jokes and talk about the Rwandan genocide.
Fair.
Very depressing.
Yes, the Yeezy season is approaching.
I'm sure that there are more historically reputable podcasts than ours that talk about the Rwandan genocide that you can listen to. But it's a good movie, though. If you haven't seen it, you should watch it. Because it's kind of a forgotten historical event that didn't happen that long ago. Like, when was it? Like 20 years ago? 25?
Yeah, it was like the early 90s, early mid 90s.
And yet, like, no one talks about it anymore.
Yeah, and at the time it was ignored too. So
Also,
It
Nick
occurred during
Nolte.
1994.
Yes, that's not that far off. I mean, Nick Nolte kicks ass in that movie.
oh yeah, angry Nick Nolte is best Nick Nolte. Like this
Well,
is in Red Line when he's just yelling at dudes the whole movie. Like,
But Alex is correct, though. It's very sad. Don't watch it if you're not in the mood to just be emotionally wrecked, because it's about genocide. But good. Is that on anything, like streaming-wise?
it's on Amazon, I believe, still.
Okay, so for my pick, I'm going to talk about a show I watched months ago, but they took it off HBO, so I didn't really want to talk about a show that no one could actually watch, because that's stupid. But it's back now, so I actually can talk about it. And that is The Larry Sanders Show. This is a show that you probably heard mentioned, but like no one's seen it really in the past like 20 years, but it's one of the most influential comedy shows of all time. It was like HBO in the 90s. It stars and was created by Gary Shandling. He plays a talk show host, a fictional talk show host, Larry Sanders, and it's the kind of the day-to-day operations of his talk show. You have celebrities that play themselves. It's shot in this mockumentary kind of cinema verite style. It's excellent. Like this is the comedy that all modern comedies kind of extend from. It was one of the first to do cinema verite style. Everything was The Office. It was actually Larry Sanders. It's super genuine. Genuine, which inspired stuff like Ian Nucci's work, like The Thick of It, Veep, that stuff came straight from Larry Sanders. And it's just really funny. It's a really accurate look into showbiz life, but it's also just extremely funny. Rip Torn and Jeffrey Tambor are hilarious. That's the thing about the show too, is that like everyone involved in it in the cast has some sort of major controversy. Gary Shandling, Jeffrey Tambor, Rip Torn, Jeremy Piven. It's not the A+ bunch, but separating artists from the art. The show is really good, and if you like comedies, I think it's a must watch.
I hear a lot about it just from like if you see any interviews with people who created a comedy show, it's like, oh, what have you where did you take from? And they all say Larry Sanders.
And then most people go, Larry Sanders, what's that?
Like me, until you started talking about it.
Definitely heard about it.
Yeah,
I'm interested.
Yeah, it's a really funny show. It's extremely genuine. One of the best jokes that everyone talks about, which I'll just say just to sell the show. Do you guys know the Judds?
I think so.
They were a mother-daughter country music duo in the 90s that performed together, and one of them, Winona Judd, was on the show, and the announcer, played Jeffrey Tambor, introduced her as the Judd. And when he came back and they asked him about it, he just went, she was a Judd. She was a single Judd. Like, Jeffrey Tambor is amazing in the show. Like, he gives one of the greatest comedic performances ever. He's so funny. Gary Shandling also gives it his all. Also, if you haven't seen the HBO documentary on Gary Shandling, I highly recommend it. It's a really good look into the mind of a comedy writer.
That's a scary place.
Yeah, in that process. It's a very kind of heartbreaking story. Even though a lot of his actions have been called into question, it's still a really good look at the industry. But yeah, Larry Sanders, it's on HBO Max right now. I highly recommend it. If you like any sort of modern comedy, 30 Rock, Curb Your Enthusiasm, all of those, Larry Sanders is the reason why they exist, and I highly recommend it. It's extremely funny. Now, speaking of comedy movies, Justin, you have to watch The Birdcage.
Yep.
Why don't you kind of go ahead and explain why you picked this movie?
It was just what was it, a month ago or so, the anniversary of Robin Williams' death came up, and I caught this movie, and I was just like, oh, this would be something fun to talk about, because not a lot of people have seen it, but yet the people that have seen it always rave about it, and it's just a very underrated comedy, in my opinion, that not a lot of people have heard of.
Alex, have you heard about it? Did you hear about it before Justin suggested it?
I had no idea about it before you suggested it, and then literally I saw there was somewhere screening it this week too. I'm like, oh, people must really like this movie, but I had not heard about it.
I saw it on Comedy Central 10 years ago, half of it. This is my first time seeing the whole movie.
Yeah,
but I
caught it when I was in college or so. I was just flipping through channels, and all of a sudden I was like, oh, Robin Williams. I'm like, I don't think I've ever seen this. And I was just I'm like, oh, look, Gene Hackman. Then Nathan Lane. I'm like, wow, I have never heard of this.
And that's a big cast. It made money too. That's the weird thing. It made $180 million on a $30 million budget. So it was popular. It was successful, and no one talks about it.
Just forgotten.
What's strange?
Especially since the cast is loaded, you would think more people would have seen it.
And not just the cast. It's directed by Mike Nichols, who's a big director. It's written by Elaine May, who's a big comedy writer. The cinematography is by Emmanuel frickin' Lubezki, the guy who did Birdman and Revenant and all that stuff. There's serious talent behind it.
Some of these big directors and everybody, they always have these movies as just someone has seen somewhere, but you're like, how come this isn't talked about more?
But that said, what'd you guys think of the movie itself?
I think after rewatching it again, some of it hasn't quite aged as well. But there's other things that have aged perfectly fine, I thought.
And the Jeb Bush jokes have aged well. I'll tell you that. They were making fun of Jeb Bush before it was cool.
I was funny rewatching it also. I was like, oh, right, I forgot about these.
Did people even know who Jeb Bush was in 96? Was he relevant?
In Florida.
So I guess actually that we should explain before talking about the movie in depth. The Birdcage, it's about the owner of a drag queen nightclub played by Robin Williams, and his partner played by Nathan Lane, their son played by some random dude who I don't care enough about to look up.
Dan Futterman.
Dude, his character pissed me off. I'm not gonna give him the
that guy's an asshole. I mean, he's pissed me off.
Anyway, he's getting married to the daughter, played by Calista Flockhart, of a powerful, very conservative U.S. senator, played by Gene Hackman, and his wife, played by Diane Weiss. And they are trying to basically make them happy by convincing Gene Hackman's character that they all live in like a straight, normal Christian conservative family, when really they run a gay nightclub. It's a pretty clever concept that I think is pretty funny.
Mm-hmm. They pull it off well, I think.
Well, because it has potential to be in really bad taste, and I don't think it's bad taste.
No, well, that's because none of them are the butt of the joke. The joke is all things that happen throughout the movie. They're not making fun of being in drag or being gay. It's just situational kind of humor, like when Gene Hackman's trying to get out of his house through a ladder in the back, and all of a sudden all the news crews are just around him interviewing him, and he's just sitting there on the ladder answering the questions before he climbs back through the window.
Like the generic politician answers, and then he climbs back into his window.
Well, I think the reason why it works is I think the movie's really big. A story thing is culture shock, right? Not only is about the Christian conservative people trying to kind of adapt to LGBTQ culture, you have the gay community trying to adapt itself to Christian conservative culture, and it's comedic both ways. I guess the big sell with this movie we should talk about is the acting. I mean, big name stars that I think pull off the roles really well.
It's weird kind of seeing Robin Williams he's essentially playing the straight man, but he also has like all these killer one-lining jokes.
Yeah, he's not like the wild character like usual. He's actually the one who's the most like kind of business-like as far as like how he's going about trying to make this happen.
Until the story demands he be crazy.
Which is then fantastic. Yeah,
because it's Robin Williams, right? That's like what he does. Mm-hmm. But it is weird seeing him be out crazied by Nathan Lane. like that energy is just.
Who steals this whole movie? I mean, he steals this whole movie.
And they have great chemistry together.
I actually believe they're a couple.
Yeah.
It's really bizarre. And he's not generally comedic, but like Gene Hackman has comedic timing down extremely well.
Yeah, he does.
That leaf speech, like the monologue, "What the leaves," is one of the funniest things I've ever seen in a movie. The change of the seasons as you drive. You're trying to make small talk and you can't.
That's so funny.
Yeah, the acting is superb. Part of it is just how Mike Nichols works as a director. He comes from theater, so I noticed that like a lot of the staging of it seems like it's kind of like a play, because it's like lots of long wide takes that just let the actors act. Mm-hmm. I don't think that worked all the time, but when it did, it was really good.
Especially like in the drag club scenes, it worked really well.
Mm-hmm.
I guess for me,
especially the end. I mean, the end sequence with Gene Hackman, and
dressed in drag,
trying to get him out of the club.
Gene Hackman and drag trying to get the club will live rent free in my head for a very long time.
Because he's just like slow, like very quietly singing the song, like "Hope no one sees me."
Like he kills it, and again, that kind of is like kudos to the actors, kudos to the director. Like this movie could have been very offensive very quickly, and it's not.
Well, I think it kind of does at points, because I don't think Hank Azaria's character ages very well nowadays.
Yeah, you're right.
Probably not. But I think if you look around, like the current reception also shows that like it does a good job, because it's not like one of those movies that people look back on like, oh, this whole thing has aged like shit. It's like the people who have seen it still really like it.
Well, the nice thing is he's just one character, but the other characters act like normal human beings. They're not over flamboyant and they act like real characters.
It reminded me a lot of something like The Ringer, where the plot could be pretty controversial, but there's so much compassion in the script that it's not offensive at all. At least I didn't think it was that bad. I don't know if I'm the best judge of of what is offensive and what is not in this category, but
I never know anymore.
The actors seem to be having fun, and they seem to be playing good with it. And there's some clever jokes, like the big plot twist that everyone probably knows from this movie. Spoiler if you haven't seen this old movie that's as old as I am. The whole big thing is that Nathan Lane has to pretend to be the mom of the family,
and nails it pretty well.
There's so many funny jokes with that are all one by one. Like, I didn't stop laughing for the last half hour of the movie.
Yeah, the final act is fantastic, and also it fits. It's one of those things that also services the character, because the whole movie they're basically trying to get him to act like someone different, and when he acts more like himself, that's actually what works.
And Gene Hackman loves him. they're all dancing and stuff.
That was really funny.
And he gets all mad. Robin Williams character is like, he does not let her do anything. He's got to be in charge, and that's not right.
She's a strong, independent woman.
And then at the end is like, how many wives do you have? He's like, only one. And he pulls off the wig and it's like, I don't understand. What's going on?
Yeah, Gene Hackman's panic. But he plays that part so well. I will say, though, that the movie was kind of losing me before the dinner scene.
Yep.
I agree. Well, specifically for me, like the first act is like 40 minutes long.
Yeah, it's a lot.
So I felt, the pacing was a little off until like it kind of found its way eventually. And then it gets to the dinner scene and it's really good.
Once the families meet, that's when it's great.
Yeah, because that's when the actors can actually like act off each other.
It's
you
when
can really get them going.
Basically, when hot and cold meet, it's like you're waiting to see that chain reaction of events that's about to happen.
I mean,
I think my it's still like well done, but I think my issue until that point was like the movie also knows you're literally waiting for that, because they're on the road to go have that happen, and then they have to cut back to the car to remind you that they're coming, and it's like, yeah, I know, that's what I want to see. Can we get there?
They're like Jar Jar Martin. Don't worry, they're coming. They're coming.
Well, I guess that's an important question, right? Is all of the stuff with Gene Hackman's family, do we really need most of that? Not really.
Right. There's some stuff like to set them up, and like there's a couple of good gags with it, but like eventually it kind of feels like it's running over the same territory until they meet.
All you really need is the setup that there's some controversy surrounding him because of the other senator dying, and he's trying to avoid the press.
And trying to turn his image around.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
That's all you really need. And instead we get all these cutbacks that really, I do think, hurt the pacing of the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Because Nathan Lane and Robin Williams have this energy, and that's the plot, right? Is them trying to get ready for this dinner. And like you said, Alex, we know they're coming. We know it's happening.
Mm-hmm.
We know it's going to happen. It's not like they're going to pull a twist and they crash off the side of the road and that never happens.
It almost creates more drama and tension when the first time you see those characters is when they come at the dinner. But I don't know if you could get away with that.
It'd be a little hard, I think.
But they're almost like used too much by the time they get to it.
Yeah.
And also, it's one of those things of, we get it. They're Republicans.
They're conservative.
They don't like the LGBTQ community. We get it. We know that's the dichotomy.
Yeah, they finally do like different variations on that joke and dichotomy when they're like in person, and then like it's funny at first and it's funny at the end, but then in the middle it just kind of sags a little bit.
Because it's the same joke,
just in different forms.
Like you said, eventually they kind of play with it a little bit, but it takes a long time to get there. But when they do, it's really fun. It's fun. Elaine May is a really good comedy writer. She has been for a while, and then she made Ishtar, and that flopped, and then she disappeared until Birdcage came out. But it's a really funny movie that I'm surprised people have forgotten. It's weird because it's weird seeing Robin Williams get out crazy by kind of both Nathan Lane, but to an extent Gene Hackman too.
Yeah.
Like to have Robin Williams be in a room and not be the funniest person in it.
I think that was kind of set up to be like, it's like, you're going to get your one-liners and everything and jokes, but you got to play it straight. You're not going to be the crazy one.
Well, and Robin Williams already did Dread.
That's true, too.
He misses Doubtfire. Like a lesser director.
Masterpiece.
That is a good movie. A lesser director would have had him be
Nathan
be
Lane's
the drag queen character.
Well, I think too at this point he was doing like, you know, Good Will Hunting was around this time. Like he had a few more straight serious. Well, this isn't serious, but you know, like pulled back roles versus his usual.
But
yeah, it's not his usual role. It's not. It's a comedy, but it's not like the traditional Robin Williams goofball comedy.
But like you also said, he does get his opportunity to go kind of crazy. Like essentially, Nathan Lane is the crazy one in the beginning, and Robin Williams is more the straight man. And then slowly through the dinner, it kind of flips where Robin Williams is running around crazy, having all this, and then Nathan Lane's character is calm, confident, and just being basically himself and trying to.
That's actually kind of interesting. I mean, it had to be intentional, right?
Yeah.
That Nathan Lane.
Oh yeah, I noticed they were doing that.
And comfortable, and then Robin Williams had to kind of hide and pretend, and that when before it was the other way around. And I think part of it is, since this was the 90s, based off of a French film from the 70s, I don't know if they could outright say that Nathan Lane's character was trans, even though they kind of subtly hinted at it.
Yeah, like they talk about it at the beginning a little bit, and then it's not really brought up again.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't know if it could at that point.
Right, yeah, somebody would have come at him. It was the 90s.
I mean, obviously you could do that now, and it'd be perfectly acceptable. But back then, it was probably a little more of a
risque
stretch to sell. But it still works. It's still really funny. And surprisingly inclusive. I mean, it was successful. People liked it.
And I mean, overall, you said you saw a screening of it, so I mean, someone's.
It wasn't in film too.
Yeah, it was in film. It was in 35 millimeter. Yeah, so at like a prestigious theater. So like, yeah, people want to go see it and like see it as like an important film.
I'm surprised that like Shout Factory hasn't done a Shout Select on it or something like that. Because it is a well-regarded movie that just has kind of been forgotten to time because it's not. I guess I don't really know why it's been forgotten. Maybe because it's not one of Robin Williams' like big ones. Mm-hmm. It's strange because like to me, this is why I like Robin Williams as a comedic actor is when he's controlled and when he only goes crazy when it absolutely requires it.
He's great.
Like stuff like Good Morning Vietnam, Birdcage. Like that's to me when he's at his best, at least for comedy.
Mm-hmm.
It's shit like Popeye when I hate him.
Well, I don't know who to blame for Popeye.
It was a Popeye movie. What you expect?
Well, but like
that's fair.
But it's also just him doing the creative Robin Williams stuff, and it's like, oh my god, I want to turn this off. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Who thought it was a good idea to make a multi-million-dollar Popeye musical? I mean, they built a village for that movie.
Start the PCU Popeye Cinematic Universe, you know.
Like I'm pretty sure
Olive Oil movie.
Directed by Robert Altman.
Wait, what?
Released by Paramount and Walt Disney.
Wow.
Walt Disney, I think, had a big role in making it. That's so weird. That is weird. And I'm pretty sure that the town that they built to film on is still standing.
All right, let's reboot it.
Oh, no. Don't give them ideas. No.
They've been trying to do an animated one, but Jenny Tartakovsky. Actually, Popeye, maybe make it gritty and dark. I don't know.
Popeye,
like, you already hear the slow pop music cover of the Popeye intro song.
Are they gonna pull a Family Guy joke and basically like, Popeye, those arms are not supposed to be like that. They're tumors.
I want to see who would play Popeye in a modern day film. You're in live action.
Tom Hardy.
I was thinking the same thing. I was literally just gonna say Tom Hardy.
For the solar. He has to have his mouth covered, of course.
Well, he'll have the pipe in his mouth the entire time, so we still won't be able to understand half the stuff he says.
Dude, I love cartoons. I fucking love Popeye cartoons. Anyway, back to Robin Williams. You got rid of the topic. back to Robin Williams in the Birdcage. Robin Williams, I think people get so caught up with his big films that they forget some of the smaller, really good stuff he did. Like the Birdcage. Mm-hmm. Like everyone always talks about Good Will Hunting. What's some of the other ones?
Dead Poet Society.
Mrs. Doubtfire, Jumanji. Even though I don't like his Jumanji movie that much.
Yeah.
Aladdin. There's really good shit that he did that no one really talks about.
I don't ever hear anyone really talk about was it Moscow on the Hudson or whatever?
I haven't heard of that.
Yeah, I haven't either. That's to your point. That's to your point.
It's Moscow on the Hudson. He basically he's from Russia. He comes over here and he defects, and it's basically him trying to adjust to being in America versus Russia.
I have to watch the Fisher King too.
Oh, yeah. I've heard of that one at least.
I've heard of that one. I've wanted to watch it, but I've never been
I think
able
there's
to
a
catch it.
Criterion of it. I haven't found it at Barnes & Noble ever. I love Terry Gilliam, so.
I hear 1 Hour Photo is really well done. Good one too.
Yeah, he's actually in lots of good stuff. And his stand-up is amazing.
Yeah. He goes balls to the wall on that too.
Although we can't forget his greatest role, which is Flubber.
I've only seen parts of Flubber.
You haven't ever seen Flubber?
I think I saw Flubber once as a kid. I don't fully remember it. It was more of a fever dream, which I guess that movie also is. But I know I've seen it.
I saw it in a daycare multiple times, so I was there. Oh, he was also in Ferngully, which I'm pretty sure I saw. It's one of those films that you're not sure if you actually saw or just made it up in your head.
Definitely saw
if
it.
it even exists.
Definitely saw that.
He plays like the bat. I remember because Tim Curry plays, I think, a singing smoke cloud or something like that.
And he plays a bat.
Yeah, he plays a bat because he was pissed at Disney for violating their agreement on Aladdin.
Mm-hmm. So then he didn't come back for the second one, but he came back for the third one.
Well, because Robin Williams wasn't really
three.
Yeah, there's three.
There were 3 movies: Aladdin, Return of Jafar, and Aladdin King of Thieves.
Wow.
I owned Aladdin 3, and I was like, because I didn't really own all the Disney movies. I owned all the direct-to-video sequels. So I thought like
Lion King 1.5 or 2, whatever it was.
It was 1.5.
1.5 was a little bit after this, but like I thought I thought Aladdin 3 was Aladdin till I was like 5 or 6. Because that's the one I had. So I'm like, wait a minute, what the hell is this? I mean, Aladdin 1 is way better. Aladdin 3 is not awful from what I remember from a movie I haven't seen in like 15 years.
No, it wasn't bad. Second one took a dip because you don't have Robin Williams back.
And because it was a pilot for a
show.
For a movie. Yeah, for a show.
That ran for quite a while, I think.
That he also wasn't a part of. Because he hit Robin Williams with a fucking...
He's not going to do some Disney
I have a career. What am I doing here?
I mean, he typically did stuff sometimes like that just because he was just a super nice, awesome dude.
He was on he was on a episode of Whose Line Is It Anyways?
Which is a good episode.
I love that show.
But that's the thing. Like, I haven't heard anybody say a single negative thing about Robin Williams, like as like a person.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I have either.
I think people said he was kind of a dick right before he passed away, but he also had dementia. Mm-hmm. But like he has interest, like he did like an ad for Legend of Zelda and weird crap like that.
His daughter's name is Zelda.
And then there's that weird. Did you guys ever watch the weird Doctor Seuss TV special where Robin Williams reads Cat in the Hat?
No, but I kind of want to look this up now.
And it's like he did it. It's like he did Coke and read Cat in the Hat. It's just bizarre. That's an awesome special, just because I think that's the one that has the weird gospel version of Your Little Turtle.
Oh, he's on 2 episodes of the Larry Sanders Show. I really got to check it out.
Yeah, he plays himself in probably I think some of the better episodes. He wanted to play Hagrid in Harry Potter. Why not? Oh, it's right, because J.K. Rowling wanted British-only actors. That's why.
Boo.
Although I will say, the Family Guy episode where Peter turns everyone in the world
to Robin Williams.
Robin Williams is extremely funny.
Yeah. And
they all like annoy the planet. And it's really funny because it does kind of show he can be kind of annoying.
Yeah, too much can be a little too bad.
But it's all in good fun.
Yeah, the sad part was I think he passed not too long after that, so like that episode got like pulled for quite a while.
Like everyone's like making jokes and stuff, and then at the end, Peter's like, "Oh no, it's sad bearded Robin Williams." Because isn't it weird too that every time he was in a drama, he always had a beard?
I know, yeah.
Oh yeah.
I was thinking about that. Like, if he has the beard, then like, oh, should I be prepared to be like sad?
So in the Birdcage, he's just got the mustache, so it's
So it's like he's gonna be kind of serious, but it's still a comedy.
yeah. Apparently, he was in an episode of SpongeBob.
What?
Truth or
Which
Square?
one? Oh, that one. Yeah, that's one where he played himself.
Oh.
Because that was a 10-year anniversary special. And it had a bunch of celebrities like, "Hi, SpongeBob! Congratulations on 10 years!" Like that kind of.
Got it.
So yeah, it wasn't like the usual episode.
Yeah, it's not like he played a character on SpongeBob.
Darn it.
Are you guys ready for a hot take?
Go.
Patch Adams is not that bad.
I agree. But
Yeah,
I will be honest, I give a lot of passes to Robin Williams movies just because I enjoy them.
Dude, I know you love Robin Williams. I was like, I knew when you picked Birdcage, it's because Robin Williams.
Dude, he's like, you hear about actors dying. This one was, I actually got upset when I heard that he passed. I don't know why.
Well, not to get super dark. God, this is the depressing episode. Not to get super dark with it, but I think the fact that he was so happy on camera and then we saw he died of suicide, I think a lot of people, myself included, couldn't really process that at first.
yeah.
But then you read a lot into why comedians commit suicide, which I won't talk about here because obviously that's way too sad to talk about. But there's some interesting articles on that if people are interested that they should check out because it's actually really compelling. But also he had dementia and I think was starting to lose his grip on reality a little bit. It's very sad.
Oh, sorry.
I will say, are you guys ready for another hot take? Which isn't really hot in some circles, but it might be with you guys. I don't remember.
Is it about the Francis Ford Coppola's greatest masterpiece, Jack?
No.
That is an abomination of a movie.
Dude, what's with Francis Ford Coppola? Just like he made some.
Yeah, imagine making The Godfather, The Godfather 2, Apocalypse Now, and Jack.
No, what I was gonna say is fuck Hook.
Okay, no, fuck you.
No, fuck you.
No, you, fuck you. Hook is a good movie. Go fuck yourself.
Hook is not a good movie.
How dare you? How absolutely dare you?
Like a lot of movies, it's only good or people won't like it because Robin Williams is in it and he's funny.
I liked it because I saw it as a kid and I refuse to watch it again as an adult, and I will tell you that you are wrong anyway.
Oh, does that mean I have to make Hook my pick for?
I won't watch it because I've already seen it.
You just say, is it really a movie none of us have seen?
The only part people remember from that movie is Rufio.
No, I remember a lot about that movie.
Bangarang.
I saw it a bunch of times as a kid.
I saw it a bunch of times too, and I don't like that movie. It's weird. I don't enjoy it.
I can see why people don't like it. I enjoy it.
I like it. Yeah. Justin, be on my side. We got him.
Listen, I'm not going to win a fight with Justin by betting off with Robin Williams. I know that. He's not going to side with me on anything with Robin Williams.
Unless it's positive.
He also did Bicentennial Man. That's a weird movie.
Yeah.
I know about the movie. I've never seen it, but like I know about it and I remember it. I remember when it came out.
I remember the end being really funny. I don't remember why, but I remember the end being really funny.
Well, it's kind of sad because at the end he dies, and his wife asked her to ask the person to unplug her so she could die with him.
Wow, dude, you've seen like every Robin Williams movie. I'm sorry, I'm looking at your Letterbox and like I'm looking at all of his on Letterbox and I'm clicking on them and literally you've seen like all these movies. I see like the ones that neither me or David have seen, and I just fucking click on them and there's your rating.
Have you seen Jack?
Yes, that one I will say is
he's got that.
awful.
I have 1 star. Yeah.
There's one I heard is really supposed to be funny, and that's like Death to Smoochie.
Death to Smoochie is shit. I have seen that movie. That movie's terrible. It should be good because I think it's Danny DeVito, Robin Williams, and I think Edward Norton.
Yeah, I've heard some people say it was pretty underrated.
I hate that movie. I do not like Death to Smoochie. Toys is supposed to be pretty bad too.
Yeah, I didn't really even feel like a Robin Robin Williams movie. I don't even remember half of it. I just remember, I think it was LL Cool J's in it. That's about it.
What about Old Dogs?
That's awful.
Old Dogs is
I've seen that.
Is
That's
that
just
like a
that's
now, important question. Is Old Dogs a sequel to Wild Hogs?
no.
No.
Like I thought that John Travolta played the same character in both movies.
Yeah, the other one, they're biker, and Wild Hogs. Yeah, they're bikers.
Maybe, I don't know.
Yes, I've seen Wild Hogs.
Okay, ready for a random hot take?
Well,
Another one.
I like Wild Hogs.
I also like Wild Hogs, and I've never been able to say this out in the open.
Yeah, I feel ashamed for saying it. Like, it makes me laugh.
I have a very specific memory of seeing that like in the theater and like having a good time. I have not watched it since. I would not watch it since, but I liked it.
I saw it as an adult. This still makes me laugh. Like, it's really stupid.
mm-hmm.
Tim Allen can't act to save his life, but like that movie has a straight up monster cast too.
Yeah, it does.
Tim Allen, John Travolta, Martin Lawrence, William H. Macy, Ray Liotta, Marissa Tomei.
Oh, I forget she's in that.
The hot Aunt May. I love that. That's a meme now.
Careful, if we bring up MCU Spider-Man again, I'm gonna get pissed.
Oh, dude, I'm just bringing up the memes, okay?
I can already feel my blood pressure rising.
Oh yeah, Kevin Durant, isn't it?
He's an underrated.
What?
I really like him.
Wait, who?
Not the basketball player.
Not the best.
Yeah, you literally said Kevin Durant, and I'm like, why is KD?
Durant.
Why is KD in Wild Hogs? He wasn't even in the NBA.
Instead of ending with a T, it's a D.
Okay. Yeah, I know what you're talking about now.
Also, I like the first night at the museum.
First one's good.
I like both of those movies. The first one is way better.
There's three of them.
I haven't seen the third one.
I haven't seen the third one either.
This is what is the theme of this episode? Alex saying there's three of them.
Yeah, but there's three of them. I don't think anyone really saw the third.
Yeah, that's why there's not four.
The problem with that one is it's kind of like and this is going to be a weird segue, but it's kind of like the Hangover series where the first one, the second one's just like the first one, just in a different location. So I never saw the third one because it was just like, I don't know how different it is from the first two.
Because the first one I thought was a really clever, kind of cute family comedy, and the second one is the same freaking movie. But with Hank Azaria as the villain. Robin Williams was good as Teddy Roosevelt in those. Dude had range.
Mm-hmm. I don't know if you ever on HBO. I wonder if it's on HBO Max, but there's the Robin Williams documentary
I'm scared to watch that. It
was actually really good, I thought.
Because I feel like it's going to be really sad.
Yeah.
It is, but it's also, you learn some things about him that you didn't really know. Maybe
I will, if I bring myself to actually think I can handle that. Because it's sad stuff, because everyone liked him.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know who also had a weird number? Who also has a weird amount of range? I don't think it's enough credit. Nathan Lane.
Yeah. If you watch him in this and then go watch the OJ show on FX night and day.
I didn't know he was in OJ until I was watching it.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, wait, is that Nathan Lane? Is Nathan Lane F. Lee Bailey? Why is Nathan Lane F. Lee Bailey?
And he kills it so
Why
well.
Is he good as F. Lee Bailey? I mean, everyone probably knows him as Timon.
Yep.
Yeah. Legendary power duo, Timon and Pumbaa.
Well, he actually started with Ernie Sabea, who plays Pumbaa in a bunch of Broadway shows. It's why they paired them.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that.
Yeah, because they acted together in a few things. I mean, because he came from musical theater, and he's really, really good at it as it.
He was actually up for a Golden Globe for Birdcage as well.
Oh, Nathan Lane?
Mm-hmm.
Supporting or main?
Supporting. No, main.
Do you know who he lost to?
That's a good question. I should look at that.
He's really good in this movie. He's probably the best performance in the movie.
Because it was musical or comedy. Oh, Tom Cruise and Jerry Maguire.
Oh, that's a comedy?
For the Golden Globes.
According to the Golden Globes.
Yeah, if you want to win. Because he was also up to the Oscars.
Because when I watch Jerry Maguire, I'm just busting out laughing.
Well, it's like one of those that's like has comedic. Yeah, it's like comedic elements, but it's not as bad as The Martian, but it's certainly not a comedy either.
I see that more of a drama than anything.
See, everyone knows him as Timon from Lion King, but me, an artist, knows him as Spot from Teacher's Pet.
That was him.
Right.
Yeah, that was him. He was the dog and teacher's pet that became the one to be a boy.
You're right.
That was a weird fucking show.
That was, nightmare material sometimes.
It became a movie. That's right. It made it a movie.
I still have never seen the movie.
I saw it. I think I rented it. Obviously I didn't see it in theaters, but no kid. But I think my dad rented it on DVD because I liked the show. And I think he had no idea what the hell was going on. It's kind of a disturbing concept, right?
Yeah.
A dog that wants to be a child.
So he goes to school.
But I remember the theme song kicking ass though.
All the shows from that era, like the animated shows, had like great intro songs.
Actually didn't. See, just praise Disney. People can shut up now.
I will say it. This is like
that's our quota.
The most un-Disney animation you'll ever see.
Well, I think it's designed by the guy who did the box art for all those Cranium games or Cranium. So it's got this really unique, almost Cartoon Network-esque art style.
Yeah, it does. Because like the kid who owns him, it's like white as a ghost.
And
that kid freaked me out.
Well, it has a really good cast too, also featuring Jerry Stiller, Deborah Jo Rupp, and David Ogden Stiers. But Nathan had a really weird filmography. He's got some good stuff. Mostly stage shows, like Angels in America, where he played Roy Cohn, which I'm sure he'd be really good at. But that is theater.
I still gotta see that Producers movie he's in.
Yeah, but his one sucks. If we're gonna watch it, watch the good one, the Zero Mostel. Sadly, the musical one with Nathan Lane just isn't any good, except for Will Ferrell. Wait, he's gonna be in an Ari Aster movie? What the fuck?
I feel like everybody is in that movie. Like, I feel like every 2 seconds I'm like, oh, this person's in an Ari Aster movie. I'm like, okay.
Disappointment Boulevard almost like Joaquin Phoenix, Amy Ryan, and Patty LuPone. I don't know who the last one is, but I know who the other two are. He also I don't really like the show that much, but the episode he's in of Modern Family is really freaking funny.
Yeah, I haven't watched much of Modern Family.
He basically plays himself, and Ed O'Neill's character ends up marrying him on like a drinking binge.
I watched that show like early on. I only have vague memories though. I don't think I saw that one.
See, by the time I thought about watching it, I had everyone telling me it's such a good show, and I'm like, okay, I'm not watching it.
It was one of those shows that got way too popular.
Like Schitt's Creek.
Schitt's Creek and Big Bang Theory.
Oh, fuck the Big Bang Theory.
And Friends still. Friends is still like the most known. I have never watched a full episode of Friends in my entire life. And people like are shocked when I say that. But it's true.
Really that great of a show.
But anyway, I guess to give credit to the last major actor in this movie before we move on. Dude, Gene Hackman has such a weird filmography.
Well, he's one of those people who like really, especially as it got later on, like will only do movies he's like fully in on, like script to director to everything. So seeing him in this role and like going, more out of his usual zone is really interesting.
Yeah, in his state. So he was an ant. That's a weird movie.
Oh, right. Yeah, he's the general dude.
Yeah, he's the main villain. That's a weird movie.
Not a bad
he's
movie,
another
though.
act basically like retired or like said he won't do certain movies like a bunch of times and then does them.
Well, he apparently was a nightmare on the set of the Royal Tenenbaums. Apparently he threatened to fight Wes Anderson multiple times. And he was probably like, what, 70?
Honestly, I wouldn't fight him. He'd probably kick my ass.
I was going to say, honestly, even at that age, he looks like he could
kick
kick people's ass.
But he's still a good actor.
Oh, he's excellent. I mean, watch him in Unforgiven and then watch him in this.
Yeah, Unforgiven, The Conversation.
I forget that's him. It's so like out of his usual. French Connection. He's done a lot of like different kinds of roles.
He's in The Replacements.
Lex Luthor. Dude, what's with you in The Replacements?
It's football season. I like that movie.
I've actually never seen that one. I know a lot about it because that's one that gets a lot of references.
Oh, that's right. He's in Get Shorty. That's an amazing movie. Damn, that just left Max. Otherwise, that'd be my pick. But that's a really good movie too. Now he's a novelist.
He's in Bonnie and Clyde too.
Probably has some random.
Oh yeah.
That's probably one of them.
Yeah, that was early on. Yeah, I think he was one of the. Like the.
I'm guessing he was one of the police. The cops after him or something.
I think so.
And then he became Lex Luthor.
Wasn't one of his main schemes?
No, he was a member of the gang.
Oh, was he?
Oh, he was one of the people. They must have picked him up at the very end.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Oh, he's not. Yeah, I don't know how much they show him, or am I just not remembering it that well? Because I mean, it was all right.
He did probably not shown much.
Yeah, I don't remember that movie as well as I should. I mean, it was good. It just wasn't like as good as the movies it spawned, basically.
I more remember the other Gene that's in there.
Who's the other Gene?
Gene Wilder.
That's right. He's like randomly in it.
Yeah, he's like a random person they rob or whatever.
I didn't even notice that.
Anyway, kind of go back to the Birdcage. The Birdcage is a really good example of this weird phenomenon, too, of American movies remaking foreign movies because Americans don't like subtitles.
See, also, Parasite, coming soon.
Well, no, that's a TV show.
Yeah, but,
By Adam McKay.
Well, aren't they, like, making a English version of the Raid movies, too?
Yeah, they're doing it.
Why would you remake a movie that's already not good?
That already has an English version. It's called Die Hard and Dread. But they're also making
Dread. Dread is like literally the same movie but good. I'm sorry, but it's true.
It is. Dread's the Red has like one good action scene.
Yeah, I don't know. There are a lot of them that I'm like, why did this get an English? Like why would it get an English remake? Like
Another Round's getting one.
Yeah, that one to me makes no sense because that's also like very steeped in Danish culture. Like, and I'm very confused as to why that would get an American.
And don't you have a friend from Denmark, Alex?
I do.
So thank you told me when I was watching they were like asking him questions about like Danish culture and like the movie.
Yeah, I was asking her at the end, like the thing when they graduate high school and they all go on buses and they binge drink all over town. I'm like, what is that? And they have those hats. They have like those hats. Yeah, so I heard all about that.
So unless the Leo DiCaprio version takes place in Wisconsin, it's not going to make a ton of sense.
They go around in pickup trucks and get cheese curds and Bud Light.
We're all from Wisconsin, people. That's why we made that joke. It's true.
It's very. Dude, I literally just had cheese curds today.
Where'd you go? You're in California.
Yeah, there's literally a place. Yeah, I know. I just found a place today that has cheese curds. Were they any good? They actually were. It said, well, I knew there was a chance. It said Wisconsin cheese curds on the thing. So okay. I'm like, my interest is piqued.
See, I live close by Ellsworth, which is like the cheese curd capital of Wisconsin. So my family will drive 20 miles just to get fresh cheese curds from this creamery.
We're a weird folk.
Yeah, we're weird folk here in Wisconsin. But anyway, The Birdcage is a remake of La Cage aux Folles. It's a French-Italian comedy that's basically the same exact movie. It's not even the first American remake of it. It got a stage version called La Cage aux Folles, which was a multi-Tony winner. Very, very popular Broadway musical, probably more popular than The Birdcage.
They should bring that back and cast that. Who's that very famous French actor?
Totally.
Juice.
No, I know that's what you're on. Hey.
Very French.
You know what? Not gonna make it. Sam's not listening, is she?
Yeah.
But she is.
She's napping. Don't say. She's napping. Don't say anything.
Because what? It's more of the joke I was gonna make. Like, do I want to make this? Say he is. Well, what do you mean? No, we can just cut it. She's not listening. All I was gonna say is Juicy is already gay, so it's like.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah, it works though.
Yeah. Don't leave these jokes in. But yeah, it's a French. What's really weird, though, I will say about like doing research. I think the only like original actor of this character, they're like a rap character and actually be a gay man playing the character, which I think is like interesting, kind of culturally, kind of where we're headed, but also you know what? Cut this part out.
We don't know what the fuck we're talking about.
Yeah, cut that part out. How we can edit this? But yeah, the musical is really popular, and I'm surprised the Birdcage exists just for that reason. Especially because like La Cage aux Folles, the musical in America is pretty big. It's got some good productions. A lot of songs people know, like "I Am What I Am," "The Best of Times."
Well, we love to make musicals into movies as well, whether it be Les Mis or Cats.
Well, that's why I'm confused of why if they're going to make a La Cage aux Folles remake, why not just do the musical?
I'm glad they didn't. Then I wouldn't have watched it.
Well, yeah, the Birdcage is like the same movie, it's just without the songs. Which honestly, maybe the middle parts needed something to boost the bass.
Wonder what the songs were. Any idea what the songs were about? Or
yes.
Or was it just basically the conversations they had just in song form?
I've done some research into it just for this podcast. Like the big opening number is the drag show. It opens up like you're at La Cage aux Folles when they do a song. One of them, "I Am What I Am," is like Albert accepting that he's a gay man. I guess Albin in the French version, he's accepting that he's gay, and basically is when he decides that he is going to become the mom. The Best of Times is the dance number that is in the Birdcage when Gene Hackman dances with Nathan Lane, except it's just a musical.
Oh yeah.
In the musical, I don't know a ton about it. My wife loves the Birdcage, so I'm sure if the musical ever comes to this area, I'm sure I'll have to end up watching it. However, weirdly enough, the Birdcage made me really interested in, I think, kind of drag show culture. Like, I'm like, that's kind of interesting. I could go to one of those.
Well, it was kind of interesting. They showed a lot of, never been to one, but they showed a lot of couples in the movie at the drag club, so it was kind of interesting.
My parents went to one in Vegas, I think, and they talked about having a great time there. Because they're like shows, right? They're like impersonators, I think, usually. Yeah. And they do big show numbers.
Is it We Are Family?
I mean, probably now because of the movie, or they just avoid it because of the movie. I mean, my wife loved that symbolism of "We Are Family" at the end and the beginning to symbolize, the growth of the characters. I thought it was on the nose, really, really, really bad.
Oh yeah, now I feel like an idiot for not connecting that, but it was like 2 a.m. that I finished this movie.
Because that's the part that I remember. Yeah, actually, I think a lot of this movie was a little bit on the nose, I'd say.
At times, it definitely was.
It's a little bit like, okay, we get it, especially with that. Not to say that it's bad. It's just...
No, it's the good kind of on the nose. It's not the, we just hit you with a freaking baseball bat upside the face and broke your nose. That kind of on the nose.
Yeah. It's fairly well balanced, I would say. Like, it's not too much.
I think the movie... I don't think it's perfect. I think that there's some parts that could be smoothed out, especially to me, the editing makes the beginning when Robin Williams meets with the son really confusing.
Yeah, I thought he was like meeting with like a secret lover, and like they interact, and I'm like, well, that's a little stiff, and then it's like, oh, that's because it's his son. Yeah, you could have told me that.
It's supposed to be like a surprise, but they don't do it very well.
No.
Also, fuck the son.
Dude, he's the whiniest motherfucker. I hate that kid.
Yeah, I hate that character.
He's an asshole. Yeah, he's
a dick the
whole time.
Nathan Lane raised him, and he's like, "No, I want my real mom."
Yeah, it's like, get the fuck out of here.
Well, and they didn't give much for the daughter to do either. Barbie, Barb.
No, I didn't. Yeah, honestly, both of them, they were not really characters. I did not know anything about them.
They were basically just there to
other than that, the son complains. Yeah,
they were basically just there to get the two families to meet, and then hijinks ensues.
And then let the actual talented actors
just steal the show. Yeah,
then take over and to do something. But I was getting like so mad watching the movie. Like, why is this guy so mean?
Yeah. Oh, I hated him so much. And then I forgot about it at the end because.
Well, at the end, he's just like just accepted Albert. Yeah, dude, you spent the last like how many days just
trying to get rid of him
down and saying was good, and now just suddenly he's good enough because you got exposed, not because you actually like saw a slightly error of the way. It's because you got found out. Screw you, dick. What an a-hole. Good movie though.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it.
I guess final final ratings on the Birdcage?
I gave it a 4 out of 5. I had a lot of fun with it. Like you guys said, there's a lot of parts where it kind of drags in the middle, but once you kind of get to that dinner scene, it kind of makes up for all that.
The end does like save the movie in a lot of ways. The third act's so good, it's nonstop laughs, but I can't forget the fact that the first hour or so, maybe more, is has some laughs, has some funny scenes, like the buttering the toast scene, the walking scene. That stuff's pretty funny, but like it's pretty few and far between. Alex, where are you at?
I would say 3.5. I think it's the same things you're saying. It's just the first like 40 minutes to an hour probably bothered me more, but it was still enough to like that I was rolling with it. Like, all right, I'll see what happens, and then by the end, I mean, the end is just fantastic and really like lifts the whole experience.
I think I have it marked at 4 right now, but I'll probably lower it to 3.5, just because I've come lower after watching it because you know right it's over and like that dinner scene was so good because that's what I just got off of. Yeah, thinking about the earlier parts, I'm like, those really weren't that great.
Hey, at least they ended strong. You gotta give them credit for that. Sometimes movies start strong and then you're like dragged to the ending and you're just like, ugh.
Right, it's better to end strong, definitely. It leaves more of an impression and makes, when it sticks to landing, it's a better film.
Like, I probably wouldn't have it 4 if that dinner scene was more in the middle or something.
Well, in the opening scene, like the opening shot of the drag club is really good too.
Almost like Paul Thomas Anderson watched that before making Boogie Nights, because it's literally. I have to see I have to see if I would have to go back and see the French. Does anybody know how that opens? Because if it opens with that shot, then it would be like confirmed for sure that's and like okay, like I swear like every like film student or like so many professors will like talk about how amazing the Boogie Nights open is, which it is like a better version of this, but I'm like, yo, it's literally the same. I was like, this is exactly like the opening of Boogie Nights. Even like the car driving past as it walks across, I'm like, this is literally the opening of Boogie Nights, but this came out first.
And the French one was like really popular too, so it might, because the French one has sequels.
I did confirm. I looked up on Google, like somehow nobody's talking about this. I would have to see if it's in the French one, but I literally found Paul Thomas Anderson raving about the Birdcage. I'm like, well, he saw it.
Do we know when? Here, let's do some investigating right now. La Cage aux Folles opening scene. Let's see if my detective skills
expose him. Let's
see if we can expose. I'm not seeing it on YouTube. It's on Amazon Prime, so we can. Here we go. Opening off the VHS tape. Let's go. What the hell is happening? Oh, sorry, YouTube's freaking out on me. Okay, skip ahead. Okay, movie's coming out. Oh my goodness.
Is it?
Dude, it does!
Yes.
It opens with a long take outside the club, into the club.
Literally everybody's been like circle jerking PTA for like the past 20, almost 25 years, and he took it from that movie. I mean, I'm a little upset right now because of how many people I've heard talk about it. Right, it is better
than some of the others, but yeah, it's the same kind of thing. It starts outside the club, long take into the club as it will be.
Which I have no problem like taking that or like referencing. You know, it's like referencing callback or whatever. It's just the way people act about it. Like he's like the biggest genius of all time for coming up with the best long take ever in this opening scene, and it's from another movie.
But you know, I mean, how many great directors have good opening scenes to entering a club or something? I mean, even what's Martin Scorsese's one?
Oh, Goodfellas.
Yeah, the going into the club in that one too. So I mean,
yeah, but it's not the opening scene of the movie.
True.
Well, it's also more like the way it's shot is exactly the same. The car drives past, it goes across the street into the thing. The directions it takes are like the same. Versus Goodfellas, like it follows them down the stairs, and him like, you know, he knows this person, he's waving this person off. They go through, like, so it's kind of it's a little different, I think.
Also, I should correct myself. There was a play before the French movie, which became another play, which became another movie. So
a lot of plays in there.
Also, I'm seeing this other thing too. Apparently, MGM has a side-by-side of the Birdcage versus La Cage aux Folles, and the fact that you have to have that means someone did something wrong, in my opinion. See, we remade it, and you can't even tell the difference. Well, then why the hell did you remake it?
Yeah.
If they're the same movie, then why does it matter? Like, it's like that Psycho. I think Alex, in editing class, you were there, right? Where they watched that one video where they cut back and forth, like every set frame from the original Psycho to the Vince Vaughn remake.
We did that?
Yeah, it's showing that they're like the same movie.
Yeah, I mean, remaking Hitchcock is like enough blasphemy in itself.
Well, it's also like Bohemian Rhapsody. We're like, oh, they remade Live Aid. Well, duh. Anyone with budget could do that.
It always comes back. It always comes back to Bohemian Rhapsody.
Well, everyone makes it like, oh, they did such a good job. They remade.
But they did Live Aid.
It's like,
you give any trained monkey. I mean, literally, that's what college students do. That's like every cinematography, like interesting cinematography assignment is reenact shots from this movie, get the lighting right, get the framing right. It's a very common thing. It's not an accomplishment. It means you had money. Oh, congratulations! Someone gave enough money to reenact Live Aid.
Wow, how are you able as a director to so accurately recreate Live Aid? Money.
We had video.
Money and YouTube. Bryan Singer just popped that up on YouTube and just went, I got this. Anyway, I'm going to say we're out of time. We've been talking for a long time about Kaja. Fuck. But the Birdcage, I've lost track of what the hell we're talking about.
The Birdcage fall.
Yeah, the Birdcage, the Birdcage Afole is a really good movie.
A very famous, very French film.
Yeah. We all had a good time. It's on HBO Max currently, if you have that. Otherwise, it airs on TV quite often, so I'm sure you'll see it on at some point in the near future. But other than that, that's it. Let us know what you think of the movie if you've seen it on our YouTube page or Facebook. I would love to hear what you think. Other than that, thank you so much for listening. This is David Yanish for Alex Silva on this night. So thank you so much for listening to an episode of Idiot Plot. We will see you next time.
Thanks for listening to Idiot Plot. You can find us on Spotify, Anchor FM, Google Podcasts, and YouTube. Be sure to subscribe and hit the bell to get a notification every time we drop a new episode. Also, follow us on Facebook and Letterbox. The links are in the description.